Overthinking is robbing you of your freedom, and you hand it over to others every time you seek their approval. You know that sinking feeling that creeps in after you post something, after you speak your mind, or after you make a decision. It's that anxious wait for someone to like it, to give it a thumbs up, to validate your thoughts. Your chest tightens, and suddenly, your focus shifts from the work itself to the reactions it gets. You find yourself editing again, deleting that line you were so proud of, softening your words, and muting your truth just because someone might not agree. While you shrink back, the opinions of others start to take over like weeds in your garden. This isn't just a minor issue. It's your life being reshaped into a series of permission slips. You start measuring your choices by who they please, trading your genuine feelings for comments and your honesty for applause. You end up living for the scroll instead of for your soul. That ache you feel at night? It's the price you pay for always having your hand out, waiting for validation. Here's the thing, approval may be loud, but it's ultimately empty. It's just applause for a facade. True freedom doesn't come from being liked. It comes from being steadfast in who you are. The Stoics remind us of a crucial truth. Our inner authority must be sovereign. If you surrender that sovereignty to the judgments of others, you're not truly living. You're just begging for acceptance. There's a simple mental shift that can help you break free from this cycle. Change the question you ask yourself with every choice. Instead of wondering if they will approve, ask yourself, is this true to me? Is this really the right thing for me to do? When we talk about rightness, it's not about being morally perfect or sticking to strict rules. Rightness is about being honest. It's about having clarity. It's that quiet inner voice that guides you on what you need to do, without needing applause or validation from others. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If it's not right, don't do it. If it's not true, don't say it." That statement is like a sharp scalpel. Picture using it to slice away all the anxious edits you make just to please an imaginary audience. What remains when you strip away those changes made for someone else's approval? You'll discover a life that's truly yours. You'll uncover decisions that resonate with you. You'll find actions that make sense in your own personal ledger. Think about Monius Rufus, who believed that true character is revealed when you do the right thing, even when no one is watching. If your value only increases when someone is observing you, then you're living under a spotlight that belongs to others. Create a life where your quiet, unseen actions hold as much honor as those that are public. When you start prioritizing your inner voice over the opinions of the crowd, you'll stop reshaping your life just to earn someone else's applause. This isn't just a concept for monks. It's a survival tool in today's noisy world. Being addicted to approval often leads to constant comparisons, the false comfort of consensus, and a shrinking of your spirit to fit into other people's expectations. You can never completely escape the noise. The goal is to cultivate a space within yourself where that noise doesn't dictate your mood. Here's how you can practice this step by step without any drama. First off, take a moment to notice your habits. Whenever you find yourself hesitating, ask yourself, am I making this choice out of fear of rejection? Or is it truly what serves my purpose? By naming the motive, you make it easier to handle. When you shine a light on the reason behind your hesitation, it tends to shrink. Anxiety struggles to thrive when you have clarity. Next, establish your own private standard. The Stoics had their virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. You don't need to memorize Latin. What you need are a few guiding principles that you refuse to compromise on. For many, this might look like, I will speak honestly, I will act with integrity, and I will keep putting in the effort even if I don't receive praise. When you stick to your own standards, the allure of approval diminishes because you no longer rely on it for your sense of self-worth. Your fulfillment comes from living by your own rules. Lastly, let's talk about reframing failure. When you stop chasing approval, failure transforms into valuable information rather than a reflection of your identity. Zeno taught that virtue is the only true good, meaning everything else is just indifferent. In simpler terms, you can withstand being judged by the crowd. If your value is based on your integrity and effort, Then external judgments lose their power over you. Failure doesn't define your worth as a person. You've put in the effort, gained insights, and adapted along the way. The applause or the silence you receive is just feedback, not a verdict on your character. Start practicing small acts of indifference. Begin with little steps. Post something that isn't perfect. Decline an invitation that doesn't resonate with you. Or wear what makes you happy without feeling the need to explain yourself. Each of these small acts that push back against the universal desire for approval is a step toward a stronger future self. As Cleve said, "Lead me, O Zeus, in you destiny," which, when translated into Stoic wisdom, means to embrace what is truly deserving of you and let everything else fall into place. Bit by bit, you're building resilience. A single quote from Seneca can cut through the haze. It's not the person who has little who is poor, but the one who longs for more. When you seek approval, you're left feeling empty. No amount of external validation can fill that void, because you're trying to satisfy yourself with the reflections of others. The solution lies within. Stop spending your life chasing after the nods of others. There's meaningful work to be done here that may seem small, but is actually transformative. Instead of listing followers or friends, jot down your core values. Identify 5 things you won't compromise on to please someone else. Keep that list in sight. When self-doubt sneaks in, revisit it. It helps recalibrate your instinct to seek approval and serves as a reminder that your life is yours to live. This isn't just a performance, it's a practice. You might think it's a bit selfish, but it really isn't. The Stoics believe that courage and justice are meant to be shared virtues. If you're always seeking approval, you can't truly serve others. You end up bending to the loudest voice, the easiest audience, and the most convenient applause. But when you stop chasing after approval, you become far more useful. You start speaking your truth, tackling tough tasks, and being there for others without losing your own sense of direction. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." You can swap out what happens with what others think. It's not about their opinions. It's about how you let those thoughts settle within you. If you let them take up space for free, they can turn into your own tyrant. It's time to evict them. Seeking approval can drain your time, energy, and integrity. When you stop waiting for permission, your work becomes stronger, and your life is truly yours again. Chasing after approval is like building rooms for guests who never show up. Real freedom comes from using that space for yourself. Ask yourself every day, what do I need to do? What can I do without needing approval? If someone disagrees, does it change the importance of my actions? Criticism boils down to this. If you were to die tomorrow, would you regret what you did to be liked, or what you didn't do because you were afraid of judgment? Keep this in mind. No one is truly free unless they are the master of themselves. Show some love. Like thumbs up, comment speech balloon, share repeat button, and subscribe bell for updates.